Demon Performance Center, your trusted transformation experts. Visit www.demonperformancecenter.co.uk today or call now.
Hello guys, right, okay, today's little talk is protection. I can't emphasize enough what is really important, what you actually do put protection on. Now the reason being, you know, what you don't want to do is be 18, 19, literally don't put your protection on and then suddenly you meet a girl, no, I'm joking, no, to your cars basically. So what we're talking about here today, so this on the back here, I've just restored this car, just finished it this week. It wants protection on it and it's going, I believe Mike's from Scotland I think, so it certainly does need some protection on it. Mike wants to show this car and he kind of wants to sort of clean it and do stuff. So we offer a package of ceramic coating. Basically, we can ceramic coat this underside on it, but I kind of think, yeah, it's all right ceramic coat, but it kind of won't give us what we need. We need to get into little orifices where we can't physically sort of get within protection, and something's got to run in there. And ceramic coat, you might not get that area. If it does get wet, it might bead off. It's not really designed to sort of hold rust away and, you know, corrosion and all the elements of the salts in the atmosphere. So I'm kind of going away a little bit about that. I mean, it'd be fine because I know my own vehicles, I sort of know that I wrap them up in cotton wool and put them in carcoons and all the rest of it. It would work for me, but what I don't want is your car going rusty. I look after my cars really well, so I've got no problem with that. So what we've gone for, tried and tested ACF 50. Now this stuff, I mean, I've known about this stuff for years. To be honest with you, it's the first time I've ever used it. I actually demo tested something the other day, just to sort of go over the car and see what it was like. Now, that comes as a kit, so you'll get that strapped in there, and it's just short of a litre in there. They're strapped together, which is ample, but if you're spraying it in that, the problem is that'll just literally, it just goes, and you get one little single spray out of it and it just makes a mess, and you'll have it dripping everywhere. It'll be like a river. You'll probably use a bottle of it just to sort of do the back end. So this is where this come in. So I've done a bit of research on this, and basically the bikers love ACF 50. So all the bikers, if you're a proper biking bloody petrol head, you know, crazy guy, whatever you want to call him, literally these love this stuff. So what they'll do is they'll use the bike all through the sort of, you know, the summer and stuff, and then they'll literally douse the bikes down in this stuff. And it is, I've watched quite a few videos with it, and it's good stuff. It is good stuff. They douse everything. Like, I mean, I couldn't believe it. Like even the paintwork, the fuel tank and everything. So what I'd come up with was this. I have never used one of these before in my life. So again, you know, I've not invented this thing or anything like this. I'm not actually making any money out of this thing or anything daft like that. But one chap recommended this little spray gun. So he's a biking chap. And so I thought, right, I'll take a stab on it. It was 40 odd quid from Amazon. I will put a link in there. You could get it in orange if you wanted it orange as well, you know, but I've just gone for the sort of Mark 1 sort of blue. So anyway, yeah, so I bought this sprayer. It plugs into that. It's like a Hoover but backwards, so it just blows things. I mean, I've never used one. I literally plugged it in. There's a hose pipe down there, it goes on it, and it's like it's blowing air. And I'm thinking, God, if I put any stuff in this, it's going to be everywhere. But it doesn't actually. It just, you know, it's always blowing air through it. And then you press the trigger, and then it'll literally then fire out whatever you put in it. And it's brilliant. You can turn it right down and get a nice mist. So it's almost like you're spraying it on, get into all the areas and that. It's really good. I mean, I doused the car the other day, barely used any product whatsoever. And it's for nothing. 40 odd quid, it's for nothing. 20, again, Amazon, I think that was the cheapest I found, 20 odd quid or something for the ACF 50. God, it'll do your car a few times that. So when you spray it on, you'll go on there and you'll spray it. I mean, you could do it lightly. I'd sort of go semi-heavy with it. I wouldn't worry about it dripping off. So what I'm going to do today, I'm going to show you on the video. I'm going to spray this vehicle underneath, and then I'm going to leave it. So it's Sunday today. I can't believe I'm actually here on a Sunday, but so it's Sunday. I'm going to spray this today, and then I'm going to leave it sort of overnight, and then we'll have a look at it in the morning because it will look pretty drippy off and stuff. Good thing about this, I mean, what you can do, what you can't do with the other products, it's very easy, what I'm going to say in a bit, is what you can sort of say, for instance, you're a show guy, you're doing all your shows and stuff like that. What you can do, if it gets sort of any, you know, obviously bits of dirt and all sorts of dust and whatever else is going to get stuck into it. But you can wipe it down, microfiber, wipe it all down, reapply, put it back on, and at least then it's you know, you're coating it, it's covering it. The beauty of this stuff, so what it does, it rettens, it dissolves corrosion. I mean, it stems from the aircraft industry. So a lot of the aircraft guys and the planes and stuff, they, I don't know, maybe there's a big tank you drive a train through, not train, maybe trains as well, for playing through, and it just, yeah, it gets rid of the rust or something. But they spray it all around all the areas, and that is meant to be really good on aluminium and everything. So, but yeah, it's meant to dissolve. I'm just looking for the English version of it on here, it's all foreign. It's meant to dissolve sort of rust on contact. Now, I don't think it's going to do that. I don't think you're going to spray it and your rust is gone. It doesn't work like that. But, you know, your light surface stuff, maybe, well, actually, I've got an idea. I'll try it out. I've got some Mark 1 arches upstairs, which like they're sort of had to be sort of made, these things. And I know it's just sat upstairs and already got surface rust. So I'll try a bit on it, see what it does. I'm not holding any hopes, but, you know, I think it's just, yeah, we'll give it a go, see what it does anyway. So I'll spray that as well, see what it looks like. But, yeah, loads of people use this, and they rant and rave. So, I mean, you know, I'm new with it, and I sprayed one car. What I did like about it is, well, you can sort of... So, I'll give you, for instance, so, and if you can... You won't see this, actually. But there's a box nut on the back of here, say, what's welded into the frame. Now... Obviously, they've all been powder coated and stuff on them. Now, the biggest problem is you're never going to get powder between where that box, it's a box nut and a washer, imagine, and it's spot welded onto the frame. You're never going to get anything behind that. You know, you're not going to get powder coat, you're not going to get spray paint, you're not going to get anything apart from this stuff, ACF 50. So obviously you spray that in, it'll run in behind it and it'll stop it corroding. And that's the biggest problem. You know, I can look at cars sometimes, you know, oh God, you know, I want them to stay mint forever, but I don't know what environment you've got at home, what you do with it, how do you treat it, how do you look after it. It's not always going to look after itself, which brings me to the next product, is this. So if you're the sort of guy who doesn't want to crawl under his car and doesn't want to wipe it down, doesn't want to clean it, he just wants to get rid of the rust and trying to keep it nice, this. So the Built Hamber UC. So that sounds quite good. The Built Hamber UC. See what I did there? You see. Anyway, so that's the sort of thing we're looking for. So you can get that in obviously a 5 litre form like that. We generally put this on all the vehicles. So all the pictures, all the videos, everything you'll see is pre-waxed. So I will do another video of this with a vehicle. I've actually got a Mark III, which is in for a sort of protection package. Now, I will douse it down with a protection package. I mean, the vehicle really isn't like this. It's, you know, it will have, unless they've had a bit extra. That Mark III's had a bit of extra, a bit of tidying up. So we've done a bit of back end work. But I really will douse that car up so it'll be quite thick. So if you just had a resto, for instance, you'll get 2 coats of this put through and it'll look neat. All it'll do is it won't be quite as shiny, it'll matte it down a little bit, but it is putting a protection on. And what I like over this, over say conventional wax oil is the fact is, yes, it's still kind of tacky, so you will sort of, you know, once it's dried, you will get sort of stuff sticking to it. But what I've learned over the years with it, what you can do, so if a customer of mine comes in, for instance, I've restored it, and he gets like free maintenance. So when I service the vehicle, I kind of sort of go through the car, make sure it's right. It's just the way I work. You know, I've got some customers that restored a car, you know, 8 years ago, and I'm still tarting them up every time they come in every year. Just to keep them nice, really. So what I found was airline can blow a lot of it off if you sort of like, if you see that sort of car where you only use it in the summer months, it will blow most. But then if you can't get it all off with this stuff, I found is a paintbrush. So get a brand new paintbrush there and just literally just give it a wipe over and it just comes off dead easy. And then if you got a bit of air, blow it off and it looks really good. You could reapply on the top of it if you wanted to, or you could wash it off. Washing it off, it does come off, but it's harder than you actually think. So I always tell the customers, like, try not use, let's say, wheel washes and stuff, because it can take the wax off. believe it or not, when we're trying to get this wax off to redo it, it's harder than you think. It sort of goes to sort of like a bit of a grey colour as it sort of absorbs. I think that's with the TFR and everything we put on it. And then it will wash off, and then it you know, take some washing, but I'm using heat as well on that. The easiest method to get it off is white spirit. I just get it straight off. Like, so if you could sort of go around it with a rag of white spirit, I find that the best. Tar and glues like will shift it, but white spirit's cheaper and it actually works a lot better. So that's that. They also do an aerosol of it. So that's, you know, you can, if you want to put it in that, it sprays really well. They'll give you some straws with it, Built Amber will, and they'll literally, you'll douse in all the little gaps you can't get in with your sprayer. And that works quite, I mean, sometimes you get a nicer sort of, if you dust that on with the aerosols, and you can actually get quite a nice finish with that. I mean, I use a pressure pot with this stuff, and sometimes it's like, it's kind of sort of straight at you, where this you can get a bit of a spray. It's not as thick when it comes out, but give it a few coats. If you give 4 coats, light coats of that, it'll be really, really nice. Where I just put 2 coats on a bit thicker. I did used to put this through a paint gun, but did start getting problems with the paint gun blocking up and whatnot, so it didn't last forever. Again, another waxes. So I forgot to say, actually, this is beige in colour, so it's once you put it on to sort of on the sort of black framework, you won't really tell it's on, to be honest with you. It'll go on and it'll just matte it off, so you can't. But if you're spraying it onto a white body, white or maybe sort of greens and something that can look, you can really stand out, and it's not so bad with the greens actually, but yeah, anything sort of white on the body looks awful. So if you're doing a white Mark II Focus RS or something like, if you're spraying the sort of body on that car, it kind of doesn't look as showy, if you like. So that's where this comes into. So I know it's 2 different products, but this is supposedly a transparent wax. Now, this stuff is the Kent stuff. I use a lot of Kent stuff. It's good stuff, Kent is. I believe it's a Scottish company. They do a lot of stuff. So a lot of the bodywork guys, when they come across Kent, they'll know it. They do all sorts of stuff. They do waxes, they do, you know, panel bonds. I mean, the panel bond's really, really good. That's really good stuff. And this wax is transparent ones, but the beauty of this one, I actually don't, you could put it into like a Schultz gun sprayer. I don't actually. I have a small sort of hand pot sprayer, and I just crack it open, tip it in. Or they don't do aerosols, I believe. I might be wrong. I don't think they do aerosols of this, but I've found the 3M stuff. So the 3M that's coming out 08909. It's getting very, very scarce. They do a beige and they do a transparent, but a lot of companies don't stock this anymore. I mean, I bought a hell of a lot of it, so it's ideal for just spraying around. It's practically the same stuff. I'm not going to say it is or it isn't, but you know, it's practically the same stuff. The biggest thing is I think that's a lot cheaper. So, you know, for the sort of price of that, it's more cost effective to get, you know, this. But then if you haven't got a compressed air and all the rest of it, the aerosol's the one you want. So that's them. Hopefully we've sort of explained this a little bit, but I'm going to do you some little samples of these. So what I'll do is I'll do a little samples. It takes like a day to sort of matte off. So I'll do something, spray it before I go home tonight, let you know what that can show you what it looks like on colours and stuff, and I'll do the clear, and then we're going to test some of the ACF 50 on that wheel arch I've got upstairs, see if it gets rid of the oil. I must add about this stuff. So all the biker guys say you spray everything with this. I mean, not your brakes obviously, but you can spray everything. So it's like, you know, if you got any wheel arch liners, it won't harm any paint or anything like that. Just spray it, because it really like conditions all your plastics as well. They just go mad with it. I've watched loads of videos and yeah, it's good. Don't do the brakes, because that probably wouldn't be good. So yeah, leave them. So yeah, so let's get this. I'll put a little mask on now. I'm not going to put my normal big mask on because you won't hear me talking. So I'm going to put some Chinese style cheap COVID masks. And then I'm literally going to spray this on there, and then hopefully we can just give a little video as a spraying. And then tomorrow morning I will show you what it looked like after it settled. There will be a bit of a mess on the floor, obviously, but it doesn't matter about that. We'll sort that out. So don't do it if you've got a nice block paving drive. Like, just don't do it on that. Put something down on it. Like, don't take me down for it. Right, okay, let's get going. That's a forward key, so I can't stop the video with that. Hang on a minute. We'll try that. See you in a minute. Right, guys, so this is our finished Mark 1, which we're coating up. I'm not going to mask the exhaust. The simple reason is I can just wipe it down. There's no point. It wouldn't do it in the arm anyway. It's just literally going to smoke a little bit. So I'm going to leave the exhaust. I'm not bothering to do that. It's literally quicker just to wipe it off. So there's a little bit of tape just on that little guard. I'm not masking the outside of the discs because I'm not going to be spraying it there. And also when I've done, I can literally get some brake cleaner and wipe over the discs anyway. So that's not a problem. I'm not worried about that. So this is what you've seen the pictures what it looked like before. I fit the new exhaust to this vehicle because I asked the customer and I just said, look, we're not going to make that exhaust you've got look like this. It's just pitted and all sorts. So he's gone for the Piper 3-inch. It's a very popular exhaust with a sort of Mark 1 scene. It's 3-inch. There's only a couple of 3 inches available for these, is the BCS and this one. This is I like this sound. I have got this exhaust on my own car. It sounds like a WRC car and you're ticking over. It's just bob, 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 bob. It sounds really, really, really nice. He's gone for the, I think it's a 4.5-inch rolled out tip on it. So that's what he's gone for on that. You can choose your tip. There's lots of choices you can have for your tips with these. I did say tips, by the way, then. So let's have a look at the front. So I've masked all the inside of the discs, all the tapes for usual stuff with these. Like all the restorations, you usually end up having to do a lot of paint and redo all the frames. Engine bay's not been touched, literally, but it's looking mint. Really, really good, really good. Painted all the back panel up then the inside there, where they normally rock behind there. It's all been sorted. I had to do some welding on it, but it's a good solid car now. Looks really, really good. Customer's going to be super happy. Well, I hope he is anyway. So now I'm going to get this coated up, and then I'll talk you through what I'm doing and how we're doing it. Right then, guys, I'm all set up here with the little crazy sprayer thing. Another point with these things, it's a good thing to me to tell you, is literally you're not getting any sort of water or any condensation out of the compressor. So if you're using a compressor, there's an element of water and condensation. I have to drain my tank every day, and you don't get that with these. It's more almost like once it gets warm, you get like a nice warm air out of it. So it's pretty good. So I've got me Mark 1 wheel arch. You can see it's brand new. Nothing on it, but look, the rust started in already. So what I'm going to do now, before I spray this, I hope this is coming out the sound with this cheap mask on, but it's probably not going to save anything, but you won't hear me with the other one. This is quite loud. Hopefully I can drown the sound out of it. We'll give it a try, see what it does on here. So this is the ATF 50. Have a look. Yeah, in a minute, no rust is disappearing. Well, so at the minute, nothing. Oh, sorry. So it hasn't magically disappeared, the rust. I didn't think it would. But if that was bare, and like here, it won't rust there, it will stop it. I do believe this good stuff, it is good stuff. There's a lot of people over the years has told me about it, but it doesn't appear to dissolve rust on contact. But you never know, I might get there and tomorrow and it's gone. We'll leave it and we'll look at it. I can't see it somehow. Anyway, right, so let's get this sprayed up. I'll try and talk you through it and get the noise. This mask is already doing my head in, but right. So what on there? So we're just spraying it on like a spray gun. Don't cut. So when we're spraying it now, concentrate on the bits that are harder to get to, because you'll get the other bits anyway regardless. So it does spray out quite a bit. I'm just going to try and turn that down a bit if I can. Like that. That's better. You're coming out a bit heavy, that was then. Got a nice smell to it anyway, this stuff. It will drip off. Do the body work. I'm going to do all the body work with this underneath here as well. I have waxed little areas of this where it might be tricky and he's not going to be able to get to. Kind of reminds me back when my nan was alive and I used to smoke. She used to just turn around and say, "Oh, have a greasy bacon butty, grease your lungs up." I don't know how that works actually, because I don't think I inhaled the bacon butty, but I'm kind of getting that sort of greasing your lungs up feeling now with this. Right guys, I'm going to do the arches underneath there now. I must state on this, obviously I've done under the car with this the other day, so I'm getting quite low, and the problem is, so the spout comes in here, what picks up the juice. Now what they've done is they've got the juice so it's coming this way, sorry, the other way forward. It's the other way. So when you've got it tilted back a little bit and you're getting low, I'm struggling to sort of get it. I mean, it'd be all right for the arches now. I'm going to douse the rest of it. I'm going to have enough to do the car. But if you were sort of doing this, I would say, because I'd probably leave this product. You could clean the gun out of it. I mean, you know, the guns are cheap enough anyway, so I wouldn't really worry about it. But I'd leave it, you know, personally, I'm just going to leave this juice in there. But you could clean it out. You could wash it out with some terps or something like that. I just suppose it'll stop the seals going funny if they did. But you probably want 2 bottles of it. It's where I'm coming from. You get 2 bottles, put a load in it, you get in it. I mean, you know, you can see it's gone on now. It's really nice, glossy and stuff. It's gonna, you know, it will drip off. I'm just gonna leave it in here, drip off, do its stuff. What it doesn't want is gonna fall off, and what it just lays on the coating there, so it just lay a nice even coating on it. So I'm gonna finish off, just doing under them arches. And that's it. We'll have a look tomorrow morning. I'm not going to film you because you're not going to see me. I'm on my own, so I can't. You can't follow me around. I'm doing under the arches. So tomorrow morning, I'll do another quick video to see how it's turned out. We'll have a look from there. See you tomorrow morning.
Right, I'll take you for a little walk around this vehicle. So, as you can see, it's, you know, I've left it. Oh, don't you fall off? I've left it all wet. This. So I've wiped down the exhaust and I've just left that on there, obviously demasked it, what little bits we did, brake cleaned the discs, which is not really much on it, if anything really, to be honest with you. I've sort of wiped down the fuel tank and the wheel arch liners because I sprayed them, but it really does put a nice sheen on them, so the wheel arch liners look like brand new, look really clean and nice. Advise you, what I always do is tar and glue them, so literally get rid of all the tar and that first and then literally spray all that. You could wipe down this framework if you wanted to with you know, a microfiber. It will leave a, you know, a thin coat on it even though you're taking it off, but I've decided to leave this on because I want it to run into all the areas. I believe, I might be totally wrong, this car's from Scotland, and obviously with all the elements, a lot more worse for the salt and corrosion up there. I just want to keep this doused up. I mean, if he wanted to do for a show when he starts showing it next year, I don't think he's going to do much showing this year now, but next year he could just give it a wipe down and then just keep it treated on the top. But it looks $1 million. I mean, even like the front under tray and the engine, you know, I've just gone over these sort of, it's obviously where the oversprays hit the sump and, you know, bits on the tray, just wiped everything down underneath. It's just so easy to apply. It's, you know, compared to the wax, it's really easy. I mean, it just took, it's where the wax we put a couple of coats on, you know, 2 to 3 coats. This, you just put 1 coat on and it's done within like, what, for me, for like 5 minutes, it's just nothing, like, you know. It might be for you guys a bit harder on the floor, but definitely get some sheets down. Obviously I'm all right, I can do it on the garage floor and I've got a floor cleaner to go up, so it's not so bad for me. But if you're going to do it on your nice block paving drive, definitely get some sheets down. You don't want the missus going mad at you, do you? But no, but that looks $1 million. So what I'm going to do next, I'm going to add to this, so later on in the week we're going to coat this Mark III with the Bilthamber UC, and I will show you what that looks like when it's coated. So I'll see you in the end of the week. Right, I've got my Monday morning face on. I hate Mondays. I mean, probably everyone in the UK hates Mondays. What's the point? I mean, a Monday should be a day off in my eyes. So I think you should have 3 days off, which I don't get 3 days. Obviously, you're working yesterday, so I was off Saturday though. So in Sunday, and I've got the Monday morning face still. Doesn't matter. But I suppose if you did have Mondays off, you'd have a Tuesday morning face. No one likes work, basically, until you're in it. Midweek, I love it. Right, okay, that's enough of that. So a couple of products here which I've done. So we did the ACF 50, didn't we? I said I would show you on Monday morning what it's done and what it's coated. So hang on a minute, just let me run over here 1 second. Okay, back now, sorry about that, I'm going to cut it out. So, it says on here somewhere, it kills corrosion on contact. Okay, so this is our brand new wheel arch, which we have for a Mark 1 Focus RS, which has been set upstairs. They don't have no protection on them, they're just really rough pressed and that. And it had surface rust on it. I've sprayed it just to test it. It doesn't look any different. If you rub it, you can make it do something. Hang on a sec, keep rubbing it. I could probably rub it off, to be fair. But then, in all fairness, when I got this down the other day, so you can see where I've just been, but in its defense, so this won't help very well. I'll just take a glove off here to show you. So this is some rust here. So if I just give that a rub with my bare finger, it's pretty much the same. So yeah, it's not really dissolved the rust on contact. That's what I'm trying to get over. So yeah, doesn't do what it says on the tin, but it doesn't mean it's not good stuff. I mean, you know, it does have, you know, like salt removers and stuff to get rid of the atmosphere, and plus it's got a coating on it. I'm using this as a protection, not to sort of kill any corrosion. So so basically, yeah, so that didn't work on that. The other thing I was going to show you is I did 2 spray outs of the different waxes yesterday before I went home. So basically, shift you out of the way, you there. So I did a bit of a demo on a bit of an ST 150 sill. So basically that's the 3M, that's the transparent. That's the Bilthamber UC, I remember that gag. Right, so the difference is here. So that's the original metal there. I taped between it, original metal, and just a bit of overspray there from the Bilthamber. So you can see the differences on there. So I should have done a black bit, you know, just show you what it's like on the black. But trust me, it's really good on the black. So we would use this on the black. This then makes, if you put this on the black, it kind of makes it look grey. So definitely that for the black. If you add in, say, aluminium arms and stuff, so yeah, if you add an Audi, for instance, and that got a lot of the aluminium arms on it, that'll be the stuff. You can see that's that sort of effect on it, where yes, it dulls it off, but it still looks silverware. If you did that, and you know, you might want gold arms, so yeah, that's better. It's a little bit early days, really. I will do a little bit of a tack test, just to thingy, but to be honest with you, I like to have like minimum 48 hours on this stuff. So that, again, this appears to be no tack on that. A little bit more tack on the transparent. So yeah, but it's still early days on that, to be fair. You know, I did this, it's not even 24 hours ago, so I think I did it at 5 o'clock. What are we on now? Just gone 9 o'clock, do the math. But you know, that's, again, I can touch that. And that one, again, touch it, but is a little bit more tacky. So that's that.